Welcome to Deep Thought. Feeding your mind. Feeding your mind. I'm going to tell you what. It's very important, the information that you take in. It's very important because it really feeds your mind. Most people, the overwhelming majority of people, they doing the things that they do, they living the way they are, they moving in such a way because the infamous days. And as I always say, the days could be anything from your family to some powerful metaphysical group. It could be an economic group, political group. To them, most people are just sheep. Most people are the herd. So they feed them ideas from the outside. They feed them or something. They say, hey, you need to think this. That's what the news does. It's propaganda. You get some people want you. It's funny. You get some federal agents, former federal agents. I've seen some clips of them talking on social media. They say they never watch the news. They never watch the mainstream news programs and everything. That's because it's feeding you something. Think about it. Everything is feeding you. The movies. You watch some movies. I'm gonna tell you what. With movies, you can watch for entertainment, but also watch with as they would say, a third eye open. What is it trying to convey to you? Who they have starring in it? Like, there's a lot of stuff. I'm looking at the movies and I'm like, okay, what is this presenting? Particularly if it's, particularly if it's something that's not like a remake or based on something. Because sometimes it could just be based on some comic book or something, right? But you look at a lot of stuff and it's like, okay, what's it promoting? One of the things I do is, and I've talked about that before, whenever I'm watching the news or something or any program, I pay attention to the commercials. And that goes back to high school with one of the teachers. He gave us a strict assignment to watch the ABC News, but he said, watch the commercials. And ever since then, I would pay attention to it. Like I would have on the business channel, it's like, they're showing a lot of commercials on health, or it's either like overall health, how to prevent stuff from happening, or they got a lot of weight loss stuff. In fact, those are like big stock. Anything dealing with weight loss. It's like, okay, But what are they feeding your mind when they show you this? They saying this can help you, or this can help you lose weight or something. And of course, the days there, the economic days, the businesses, the corporations. So, but be conscious of what's going on in your mind. What are you feeding? What are you taking in? Because they can show you a lot of stuff, but you don't have to take in everything. One of the things I do, I always send a critic, no matter what I see, even if it's just random, by nature, I think critically. I'm like, okay, what was the purpose of that? What is it doing? Even sometimes if I'm watching a movie, I'm thinking, okay, what's the agenda behind that movie? Even, I do that a lot, So when I'm watching something, I'm understanding that it's feeding me. Even when I'm getting ideas, or maybe I might be watching a video such as this. So it was like, okay, what message they trying to convey? Because first of all, it's all going in. It's all of it is going into your mind. So you need to send a critical thought down with it. Because sometimes people will see the information and just accept it outright. That's why I said, even with what I talk about, go see for yourself. I don't care what I say, I'm known for talking about body game on my main channel. I was like, go check it out for yourself. Go check it out for yourself. I said that. I said, don't follow me blindly. I said, I'm not a guru on top of a mountain. I'm climbing too. I don't like blind followers. Because I want you to think. Now, when you feed in your mind, you can also be conscious of it. What type of stuff are you reading? What are you listening to? Are you reading like critical books and things of that nature? Or are you just watching like some random entertainment on television? Be careful of it because it promotes certain behaviors. It promotes certain behaviors when you watch like these reality shows. First of all, they unscripted, but they still directed. Because you got to ask yourself, okay, what's the point of this show? What are they trying to promote? What are they saying? Pay attention. I don't care what it is. Pay attention, because that's going in your mind. Like a dating show. A dating show. Yeah, it might be, reality and all of that. But think about somebody taking in. Think about somebody who don't get what they wanted out of the person, or they lose. Some people might take that in and think, oh, wait a minute. This was going on all the time. Remember, last episode I talked about creating a reality. That when you feed in your mind, that influences the type of reality that you create with that mind. So we might see something, we might hear something, but then if we're not conscious, we're automatically recreating the scenario. So be careful what you feed in your mind, because it's very important. What ideas are going in? What are you thinking about? What books are you reading? Even listening to me, be critical of what I'm saying, because I have a definite agenda. And I'll tell you what the agenda is with this channel: to get you to think. To get you to think. That's it. I want you to think about it. Don't just say, oh yeah, that's great. Think about it. Because I already know I'm feeding the minds of many. Many have come back to me and said, hey, I started doing this, or, you're like a father figure, stuff like that. That's why certain things I don't talk about, because I understand the power of it. I'm feeding somebody. But you have to be conscious of what you're eating. Yeah, you can, look, anybody can walk through a grocery store and see a bunch of great food and everything, but it's up to you what you're going to eat. When you feed in your mind, you got to be conscious of what's going in it. What do you watch? Like a lot of things I'm aware of, but I don't really pay attention. Like a lot of music. Like they'll talk about certain artists and everything influencing people, and actually they are. They are actually influencing people. But I'm like, I don't really give a shit about them. I don't pay attention to them. So they're not feeding my mind. When I'm looking at stuff like on a more serious thing. Yeah, I can jokey, but I'm more of a serious man. I'm more of a critical thinker. The books I read, I want to get the ideas from it, but even then I'm critical. Even then I'm critical of it. I just don't accept it. I look at okay, what can this book do? What can the ideas do to help my reality? And then it also gives me an idea of how it's shaping somebody else. Because for me, I might read something and have some critiques of it. Somebody else might read it and decide they're going to follow it. And seriously, books are powerful. That's why in many countries, if they change in the government, first place they go after are like writers, artists, because they influence people. They feed people's minds. Musicians, they do that with their songs and everything. It's powerful, but when you feed in your mind, you have to be very conscious of the information coming into it. You got to be conscious of it. You can't just sit back and just take it and handle it like that. It's not going to work. I want y'all to think about that. Even what I just said, be critical. Question everything I just said in this video and all my videos, but question what I said. Then think about what type of information you're taking in. Even if you're watching some ostensibly for entertainment, is it really entertaining? What are you getting? When you're watching one of these shows, everybody acting silly and everything, what's that really saying? People are following that. I'm gonna tell you what, the media itself is a shaper of behavior. It's a shaper of behavior. It's a propaganda machine. And that's just one of them. That's just one of them, Take in what you're learning in school. Not take it in, but be critical. Are you going to allow that to feed you? What you're learning in school, what you're getting from the teachers, that's another way. The education system is really a programming system. What are they? But that's why it's really better for people to really educate themselves, because then you can have a choice of what you're being fed. So I want y'all to really think about that, all right? Really, really, really think about what you're feeding your mind, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for now. Think on this, and I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.